Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Impromptu Authors series. I am here now with a very, very dear sister, woman, author, Marjorie Warkentin. I have known Marjorie now for nearly 5 years, almost to the day, and we have journeyed together through so much. And most recently, I have had the privilege and honor of dueling her book into the world, Saying Yes to Life. And why I am so inspired to do this entire series right now is because of this woman. She said something on a call of ours recently that spoke to my soul, to my heart, and I wanted to make sure that all of you also had a chance to feel what her truth is and why for her writing this book, writing a book in general, has been so significant. So Marjorie, I want to open it with that. Why is writing a book so important for you? How has it been a gift or significant in your life?
Thanks, Amanda. I'm delighted to be here with you. I had no idea when I started writing this book what it would do for me. It was more a dream that I'd had all my life, and I was challenged a year ago, last March, to stop talking about writing and to start writing, and I did. And then working with you and how the flow happened, and by November the manuscript was complete. And then the work started, really, for me. It of course, while I wrote it, there were lots of things that came up. However, I have had many opportunities now, and I think to live out what my book is about. So the themes of learning to trust myself, learning to live with uncertainty, to release what I don't have control over, to accept fully, to express my emotions, the sadness, and even the dark emotions, and to be okay with that. So I'm practicing that as my book is in the last details, and as I'm moving into next steps after my book. What my book has done for me, I think also, is really reminded me that I am a conduit for the wisdom that is found in the book. I wrote a manifesto before I ever started the book. And in there, the words came to me that I am a channel, that this story is bigger than I am, and that if I don't write this story, I'm missing out on using the gifts that I have been given. And even though what I write about is not new, it has never been said before by me. And that was such a powerful reminder for me, and I still believe that. And already, even before the book is out, I've had people read the early copy and their lives have been changed because of what they read in my book, which is so humbling and exciting. And of course,
as soon as you said that this story would be missing out if you did not write it, because you would be missing out on the gifts that you are here to share, my whole body just went into chills, because that is so powerful. And such an invitation to all of us who are sitting here thinking, well, who am I to share my story? What sort of story do I have to say? It's been said before. That invitation, Marjorie, is profoundly important for each of us to remember, if this is something that is on our heart.
Yeah.
And I remember you said something on our last conversation about missing out. I think you challenged me to acknowledge that it's okay to let people know that they might miss out on an opportunity. You know, I feel myself even go, oh, I don't want people to think they'd be missing out on something. And yet, as soon as you said that, my whole body expanded and got lit up. So tell me a little bit more about that, because we talked about what it means to maybe miss out on an opportunity or not take advantage of really who we are, and trusting that.
Well, for me, it has to do with believing that I am capable or able or worthy of using my gifts. And so for many years, I thought that writing a book was for other people, and that, no, it was beyond my opportunity or capability, there was a whole list of reasons why it would never happen. And so that's why it took so long. All my life, I kept putting it on the back shelf. And as I started learning about my inner wisdom and learning that I don't have to depend on experts and what other people's books look like. And comparing is not where I'm at. In fact, I didn't read a self-help book for a whole year because I didn't want to compare. And it's not an arrogance, it's more for me, it was a reminder that I have wisdom within myself. And so we were talking about your retreat, and I encouraged you, and I said, if people are afraid to attend your retreat, I believe it's because they don't trust themselves. And so if my book can do anything, or if you, in your inviting people, trust yourself, if there's a reason your body gets shivery when you see Amanda on a video and you know that retreat has got something for you, it might not even make sense. My dreams have been pretty audacious. I didn't have the money to write a book, to hire you, to hire a publicist, to do any of that. And look at me, that's what I've done. And so it's because in trusting myself, then I know who to reach out to, people that I can relate to, that will support me, that I know will be there in my corner and wanting the best for me and for my book and my message. So I really believe that trusting myself is related to saying yes.
100%. And this is what's so powerful in your book, which will also make sure you know how to find Saying Yes to Life. It's out at the end of February. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. It's full of this wisdom of trusting oneself. It's when we do that, we are more willing, more able to open up to all these possibilities. And Marjorie, you are a walking, living, breathing example of this. You said yes to all of these things in your life, which you share in the book itself, including hiring me. And then the money appeared, the abundance appeared, the path appeared. And so, yes, if any of you listening, watching, as I myself have experienced, are fearful, trepidatious, hesitant to say yes to something, whether that's attending my retreat, writing a book, having that conversation with somebody, changing a career, moving, anything, it's because there's some fear that there is this lack of trust, that you won't be supported, that it won't be okay. And yet, as Marjorie here is so eloquently speaking to, and what her book very beautifully conveys, it's all within us, and we can trust ourselves and take that next step.
And I want to say here also, Amanda, that it may not always feel like that's what is happening. Yes. I know that right in this moment, because I'm in the midst of lots of uncertainty. I've had a professional photo shoot, for example, that has been postponed 3 times because of where I live and the snow that has appeared and the torrential rains. And it's been it's a metaphor for me, really, to, okay, Marjorie, go read your book. This is what you wrote about. Now it's time to practice what you wrote, because it's like, it's out of my control. I mean, the weather of all things. And I want my photos outdoors, where I hike, where I walk in the woods. And so for me, right now, as you're talking about my beautiful wisdom, I'm thinking, oh, my inner critic is saying, I think she's talking about somebody else. Because I haven't really felt powerful in that. And yet, this is the other key. My one section on feeling my feelings and allowing the tears to flow and being okay with sadness. Unless I do that, I can't create space for the next step. That has been such a powerful learning for me. That whole thing of acknowledging the grief, the sorrow, the losses, not giving myself sort of a pep talk, get on with it, put on a happy face, and what's the problem? No, it's okay to be sad and melancholy and down in the dumps, and then to move through that. And whether I do that with my journal, by talking to a dear soul sister, my long-suffering husband, friends that are there for me and reminding me, so there's so much wisdom in accepting all of me, the magic and the messiness.
Yeah. Marjorie, I honor you. You are truly an inspiration. Everything you share, you live. You are a model of integrity. You are a true leader because you walk the talk. You live by example. And for me, that is the greatest gift any of us can give ourselves and those around us, especially when we have a message to share, a book to write, a company to run, anything, a child to raise. It's how we are modeling and living our own life from a place of integrity, from a place of authenticity. And I know it's been a journey for you, just as it is for all of us. And yet I so value you for that. And I honor you for that. And I am inspired by that. So I thank you for listening and trusting to your inner wisdom, your wise woman, for saying yes to yourself, to saying yes to your book, to saying yes to the next steps, including the publicity and the talks and the podcasts that are yet to come, and continuing to walk your talk and lean into all of it, the magic and the messiness. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you.
It has been a privilege and will continue to be one. So for all of you watching and listening, I do invite you to keep an eye out for Marjorie's book. We'll make sure you have her website. You can go there, learn more about her, get a copy of the book once it's released by the end of February. And then if you are feeling that call, if something I said is lighting your soul on fire, you're getting those goosebumps, that is something to pay attention to. I'll be sure to put the link to the retreat in the description below as well. And I heartfully invite you into that space with us. Marjorie won't be there because she will be celebrating and releasing her book, but we'll have her another time. So
yes, absolutely. Is there time for me to say one more thing?
Please.
Yes. So anyone who is considering what would it be like to work with Amanda or to be at a retreat with her, I would say you are going to miss out if you don't say yes. And you will know what that looks like. And Amanda has been way more than an editor for me. Amanda, you have been truly my book doula, my birth support person, right till this morning when you and I shared before this call. And I do believe that the way you described me, being in integrity and walking the talk, is exactly how I would describe you. And so I want to honor you as well and make sure that people, as they trust themselves to trust you, will really get that sense of connection and yes.
Thank you. I fully receive that. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of you watching. Even if I don't know you yet, there is love there. And I invite all of you to learn more about what we have here to offer you. And until I see you again sometime, lots of love, peace, and blessings.